guys don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white. They don't wear white.
Welcome to Breakfast in BS with Top Down. I am your host, Top Down Cream Corn Aloysius Sanchez. Standing in for Vince. Vince is at a wrestling show this morning. So we've got producer Virgil this morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
And we've got Johnny Lowe.
Excelsior.
And I'd just like to start today, a shout out to Johnny Lowe, who yesterday became a green belt, Kempo.
Thank you very much.
So I have to say, I had brought Johnny Lowe into the fold of my Kempo school, and he already had a pretty good affinity for movement and stuff, and so took it upon himself to join a school, and he's gotten this far. I'm very proud of him. However, I was not at the test because I was doing wedding stuff. Green belt is the first step into apprenticeship, so start thinking differently. But brown belt is when it really starts. All congrats to you, and you're under my watchful eye right now because I see pain in your future.
All right, so before we get too carried away, there's a topic that needed to be discussed this morning. Vince and I went to go watch Logan on Sunday. You guys, in case people haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I wanted to say something, and we touched base on this before. Parents, please stop taking your kids to see fucking rated R movies. Okay, just stop. All right, I cannot tell you how many kids we had. Crying kids, like in freaking, like strollers. No, I mean kids that don't even know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? Like they might as well, it'd be any movie could be on. They, because they're that small. Kids of all ages. Please just stop it. You know what I mean? Please, I'm not even sure what to say anymore because it's just like we've beaten this to death, and it's like just stop. Just hire a sitter or watch it on DVD. I'm sorry, you're married now. You have a kid. Well, I mean, maybe you're not married, but. You have other responsibilities. Your priorities need to change. You know what I mean? Please stop it. Because here's the thing: you want to raise your kid the way you want to raise them. Fine, but now you're impacting the other people's movie-going experiences. So not only are you a terrible parent, but you're a shitty person. So just stop it.
Don't be that dick. I don't need to hear your kid whining while I'm trying to watch Logan, or your kid whining while I'm trying to watch Deadpool. And you know what? This is part of the reason why I actually like going to the drive-in now. Because guess what? I'm in my own secluded car, and hey, I've got my speakers going as loud as I want them to, and I don't have to hear anybody else because my windows are up. So, stop taking your kids to see that. Yeah. Plus, there's enough violence going on. I'm sure your 4-year-old doesn't need to see
violent beheadings.
Yeah, doesn't need to see any violent beheadings.
Yeah. We had watched the Lego Batman movie, and that's an appropriate movie to bring your kids to. I mean, and the kids.
It's expected there.
Yeah,
right?
It's expected there. Yeah. So if you're an adult and you go to a movie like that, then you knew what you signed up for. But seriously, you are exposing. I mean, if you're going on the children part of it, you're exposing them to something that they're not ready for, or that they can't think of something. It's a superhero. Oh my God, there's so much blood. Then you're just desensitizing them and thinking it's okay and all this stuff like that. It's not good. But as far as the parents, that is number one. Yes, lazy parenting. Mm-hmm. Number two,
selfish.
Because it's not you're doing it for your own pleasure. And not caring what around you is happening because you're like, oh, I got to get this out of my system. Then, dude, if it's out of theaters before you can get to it, then just wait for DVD. It's not even that. It's not that big.
It's like you don't have your freaking 75-inch TV at home with a freaking stereo system. Most people are.
And what's crazy, man? Probably millennials don't have to worry about this, but dude, you remember when we were kids and a movie came out in the theater? And then you had to wait like a year and a half for the VHS to come out.
You forgot about it?
Yeah, you forgot. And then now it's like, dude, 4 months later, these things are out.
It's on demand even.
Yeah. Or even
digital or whatever.
Yeah, and probably what they'll start doing, at least I think so, is I look at the PlayStation Store all the time, and they're already doing like pre-orders on PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if in the near future we're just like streaming that direct to your house for like a movie price ticket or something. I don't know.
Like Rogue One's coming out, right?
Yeah, Rogue One's probably coming out. What? That was released in December?
Yeah.
It's March.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, the bottom line is, hey, parents, please exercise some caution, restraint. When taking, parenting. That's the real lesson here. Just take your kids to a movie like Lego Batman, as opposed to taking them to see a movie where Wolverine's sinking his claws into somebody's brain. Plus, your kids don't really have to have that image of everybody.
I'd even say this. Okay, look. I think The Simpsons did a Itchy and Scratchy movie thing.
Yeah.
And the parents would not let him see it. He didn't follow a rule, and then so when he broke it, they followed through with the punishment. And then so
it wasn't necessarily because of the content, but it was because of
so years and years later, he didn't get to see the movie until he was like middle age or something. And so let's take it to the perspective of the kid. They really wanted to see it. Maybe what, they're 11, 12 or something. What is the age limit as far as like if you're a parent and you want to see Deadpool, you want to see Wolverine, what age do you say is okay?
What's the age limit to take your kid to the theater?
No. To see a rated R. To see a rated R. I mean, not based on what the movie rating said, but as a parent. Okay. Because I would say if they're in 7th grade, and if I'm with them, then I would think I'm okay with it, as long as I explain to them and say, hey, this is violent and stuff. We don't want you to do that. When they're younger than that, they can't separate it.
I'll chime in. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own, but there's a lot of young people in my life who I, admire. And one of the things that I will say is just from kind of observing other parents that are doing a decent job, some that aren't, but I'm not going to name any names. It has to be, I got to say, it's somewhere in there, like right when they get into high school. You want to know why? 'Cause once they get into high school, they're going to probably see and hear all that shit anyway. That's kind of where things start coming to a head because they got all the hormones going on, and you know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, high school age, man, 9th grade, I mean...
9th grade, I think...
That's probably it, because they're probably going to see some crap anyway. But before that, I'm like 12, 11, 10, no.
Yeah.
Johnny Lowe has a story here. So once upon a time, I was with an old family friend. His name's Arnold. Great guy. Hung out with him like last weekend. But when I was like 9 or 10, he took me to go watch Under Siege with Steven Seagal. Rated R. And, we go up to the ticket booth, and the guy or girl, whoever it was, the cashier behind in the ticket booth, looks at me, looks at Arnold, and goes, "Hey, this is a rated R movie, and there's some nudity in here. You really don't? Do you want to take your child to this?" And Arnold looks at me, looks at the cashier, and he goes, "Boys got to learn sometime." As an older adult now, hey, that was a really fun and cool experience. I don't feel like it affected me negatively, but
how old were you again?
Like 9 or 10.
Oh, okay.
Seeing this chick jump out of a cake. It's fantastic. If you've never seen the movie, go watch it.
The time has not been good to her, by the way, man.
Oh, well, don't look her up now. Watch her on Under Siege. But, hey, I get it. Yeah, parenting, obviously needs to change. And I would say, hey, if my kid were, I'm going to say 14, and he came up to me and he went, "Hey, Dad, you know what? Everybody that I know has watched Deadpool. I'm like the only one who hasn't seen it. I'd really like to watch it." And I would say, hey, this comic book movie, I know it's rated R. Yeah. Let's you and me talk about it, and then we'll watch it together. Because...
Yeah, what would you say to him, though? Like, what would you talk about?
That is a really good question. Yeah. I guess, you'd obviously want to talk about the deaths and everything that are going on, the beheading, the sexual references, and making sure that, hey, he understands this is not okay. You don't want to go out and do a lot of this.
Murder someone with a samurai sword?
Yeah. And then I would probably tell him, because if you do, I will be the one kicking your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, for me, especially, I would feel like fuck, all my friends have watched this movie. I'm like the only one. I'm the loser, and I don't think I would want my kid to have that. But so long as he came to me and said, hey, everyone's watched this. Everybody at my school is watching it. I'm like the loser who hasn't. Then I think in that respect, I'd be a little bit more like, okay, hey, look, let's talk about it responsibly. You and I can watch it together.
Yeah. Right.
And, then we can do that.
Communication, I think, is key. You know what I mean? Just get to know your kids and spend some time with your kids. Because the thing is, I said arbitrarily, I'm saying, okay, once they get into high school. But the thing is, some kids might be ready before that. You know what I mean? And and I mean, just be a good parent. You know what I mean? There's no that our ratings. It's arbitrary. You know what I mean? You have to kind of use that as a guideline. That's why it's there. You know what I mean? Definitely don't ignore those, those guidelines. But at the same time, I understand that it's not necessarily like set in stone. If you got a kid who, like John said, you definitely don't want your kid to be the only one. Try to, raise your kids right, but at the same time, just realize that the times have changed. And the thing is, too, even with the rated R movies, you know what I mean? And also the advances in technology, the CGI, the things they can show, like the graphic deaths. Like before, it was like, a squib, you know what I mean? Like of a packet of ketchup exploding, and it was like, oh my God, now it's like you're seeing people be disemboweled and Wolverine and violent beheadings and people getting crushed. And anyway, please heed the warnings, rated R movies. I mean, your kid's 5, please don't. If your kid's 12, 13, all right, because at least they're not going to be crying through the freaking movie, ruining it for everybody else,
And I think also too, PG-13 movies are actually surprisingly they have
strong content.
Yeah, stuff. I was like, damn. So I wonder if the 13 age is appropriate. But I think some people who I know who actually weren't allowed to watch rated R movies until a certain age, I mean, they actually turned out to be good people because they can discern oh, that doesn't seem right, something like that. But with someone who's introduced that for too young, they just kind of get, like I said, desensitized and oh, that's just normal. Yeah, I don't think and for people who are taking their kids to see those R-rated movies, it's instant gratification. I know what I can do to separate myself from fantasy, but my kid doesn't. So it is selfish, and it is something. So if you need to do that instant gratification thing, just go rent it or go somewhere else. Find time to do it. Yeah, do something with it so you can have adult time.
You don't think there'd actually be good money, man, in having a freaking daycare facility sitting outside of theaters and.
Yeah, but then there's liability with that too.
Stupid kids.
Yeah.
Stupid kids.
All right.
Did you have something, Bridge?
I want to bring back an old topic. What sucked this week? We haven't done it in a while. I think because Vince wanted to be positive.
Do you have something?
I do. I have a few things. So work is work, right? And there was this meeting or webinar or whatever it was that they wanted us to be at. So I don't know who screens this stuff or if they even looked or heard the presentation, because this person was not that good at giving a presentation. And I was at first it sounds like someone just handed them the script and they were reading it along with the presentation. And I was like, oh. And then, granted, it was some stuff that I already knew, but even the little stuff that was oh, that's interesting, but it doesn't even apply to me. It was just okay, why am I here?
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, I found out later that this person did write the script. It was her thing. And man, if you're gonna do a presentation, maybe you should go over it maybe before you do it. I mean, because it sounded like she gave this presentation a lot. Things were dropping in the background. I forgot what else happened.
Oh, it was recorded?
No, it was live. So she's talking, and then she's I don't know what happened, but she might have bumped something, and it kept making noise
Yeah.
like a good a minute or two. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she kept plugging her work's website and stuff. I'm like, anyway, if you're going to take people's precious working time to go into a meeting that they're being, I guess, forced into or really encouraged to go into, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I usually just distract myself with something else. Just be quiet. Hey, I was here.
Yeah. I did what I had to do.
Yeah, I did have it, but I could have done my work and said you want to be here. So anyway, that was my gripe.
I've had my fair share of those, and it's just kind of one of those things where you just kind of, can I please just go and bash my head against the wall? Because I think that might be a better use of my time.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my share of those. But it definitely helps when you have somebody who's actually like a good speaker. Because I've had presentations, and 2 hours, an hour, a whole day actually I've had and it doesn't feel like that because, they're good at presenting, they stick to the schedule, they engage with the audience.
Yeah.
They're not just standing there reading from a freaking paper. Because what? I can do that. You know what I mean? Just pass it out and let me read it on my own time.
Right. It was quite obvious she was reading off of a script. And I was just like, couldn't you just... And she was like reading stuff off of the presentation. I was like, you don't need to do this. Yeah. It's a cardinal rule. You don't read off of your PowerPoints. It's not...
People get
effective.
Disengaged, right? Yeah. Or the people who read like PowerPoints line by line. Yeah. And you're just like... please. Hello?
I don't have to go to those meetings or presentations, thankfully. There was one time where we tried to do cross-department training. So, for example, the finance team had to give a presentation on exactly what they do. But since I'm not a numbers guy or know anything about accounting or anything like that, to me it was just right over my head. And I was just like, what? Like they were talking about like rates and buckets the rates go into, and I was just like, I don't understand any of this. And I just kind of sat on the phone and twiddled my thumbs until it was over. And it was very much like what Virgil was said. Hey, I'm here. Mm-hmm. I was on the line.
Oh, I was trying to take, something out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, okay, I was in. To show up at the time.
And then I talked to some of my other coworkers who were in the meeting, and I said, it just seems super like basic. It's like, know your audience, like know who you're going to be giving this presentation to, because if you're talking to like advanced people, they don't want to be there. That was my thing, but I'm not sure if anyone had something to add.
Lo, do you have a what sucked this week, and then I'll do the close?
Sucked this week. I'm sure I can drudge up something. Yes. I'm going to label this the curse.
The curse?
So, my boss, very cool guy. He and I have what I like to think is a pretty good friendship outside of work. But, I've begun to notice, I've been at my job for 3 years, that...
Really? It's been 3 years?
Yeah, I've been there 3 years. But, so I'm going on 4 actually this year. But the thing is, something happens that I like to call the curse. My boss, whenever he has to call out sick, suddenly it's like the fucking sky fell. Like everything descends, like the wolves come in, and suddenly I'm the one getting emails from my CEO or the VP, or getting phone calls from the VP, or having to handle this angry sales partner out in the field who is supposed to be a technology representative and expert suddenly doesn't know how the basics of how do I get you an IP address, it's like that, but times 40. And at first I thought it was coincidence, but no, it happens every single time he goes out. Like I've even wondered if maybe he's like calling people and saying, hey, call in and see if they can do this. But yeah, every single time it happens, it's the curse. He leaves, and then suddenly my life gets a lot more dark. And I somehow manage to power through the day, but I just don't understand how. I often ponder, I wonder if days I'm not there, if things are this bad, or if everything's just hunky-dory, But no, just whenever he's gone, that's what happens. And he was gone this last Friday. Yeah, my weekend was earned. Okay.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
So that was my thing.
The what sucked this week for me actually has a little bit of an emotional twist to it.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. I understand. I accept you for what you are. I mean, I've seen you, taking a peek whenever I bend over to pick up something.
Oh, shut up, John.
That's not what we're talking about?
No. All right. So, anyways.
Hey, I'm flattered, okay?
Shut up.
Derail there.
I was actually on Harbor Drive this week. A friend of a long time, is actually opening up a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and actually they're in the market for some restaurant equipment, right? And they actually found out that there was an auction for the Anthony's Fish Grotto, the one on Harbor Drive, right?
Oh.
After 71 years, that place closed down, yeah. And 18 years ago now, I had dinner there with some friends, and one of the friends was my friend Jeremy, who actually later on, after high school, and I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him, he actually went to a Padres game, and he actually got into a fight with some people. I think it was a Padres game in the parking lot, and he actually went home instead of going to the hospital. He fell asleep, and he went into a coma, and he never woke up. So it might have been on the news, but again, this was 18 years ago, so I don't know. So standing there in the spot, one of the last times that we had dinner, it didn't go well. It was rough. It was really, really rough. So, I spent most of my time outside of the restaurant just helping to load, because it was really tough being inside there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I was not expecting it, and and we talked to the owner actually of the Anthony's Fish Grotto, and he said that the city was actually the one who told him they didn't want to renew his after 71 years. Yeah, I think the city has some big plans for the harbor. That's probably what's going on. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, at least move them, you know what I mean?
Well, they have their location in La Mesa, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, that one there is historic. You know what I mean? That 71 years.
Well, people go there, I mean, that's part of the tourism.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you support local businesses.
And there was
stuff like
people
that.
walking in. It's closed down. There's people walking in. Hey, what time are you guys open? And everyone's like, people are like taking down, like the signs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not opening up again, guys. Sorry.
Oh man, that sucks.
So that was a very emotional.
There's one in Chula Vista, right?
There was one.
Yeah, that's the one where I had my prom at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a casino now.
No, it was a strip club actually for a while. It might be. Yeah.
No, isn't the 7 Mile Casino there now or something?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
it definitely took a turn for the more vicey.
Yeah. Well, I think that also goes to show, like, we have connections to, San Diego. I mean, we have all these memories and people, I mean, and that goes with any city, any town, people are going to have, memories attached to the things that, God, what is that word? The sentimental value of it is when, a physical building leaves or something, it triggers all these like memories and stuff. And, that just shows that, we're not all like robotic businessmen who just want to make a coin. You know what I mean? It's but we all got the stories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's funny because I'm usually not very nostalgic, but I guess the thing is you get to be a certain age, I guess, and then things start to you have the passage of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of I don't know, makes it more weighty.
I think what happens is your brain just starts developing. You actually become a decent person. So as you get older,
anyway.
get older, you start to become more contemplative about stuff. When you're a kid, you're just like, I just want to play. It's just.
So anyway, that was my experience. A rather emotional one, but here we are.
I guess we can close
Real
out.
quick, can I add? Can I add?
Yeah,
anything?
let's give Sergio some happy memories. Happy memories.
But anyway. This is kind of a happy/sad memory. Okay. So the other day in the car I was driving, and I went, "Fuck! It's March." So Sergio, do you realize that means it's been like 5 months since we went to Thailand?
You're supposed to be cheering me up, John.
Hey, it was a happy time, right?
It was.
You fell in love with that one waitress that didn't understand us when we said, "Can we get the bill?" and she brought us more beers.
So stupid. So beautiful. Wow. Yeah.
5 months, buddy.
Yeah. Time to start planning our trip back.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I just wanted to thank you for joining Breakfast and BS with Top Down. You're a regular host. Hopefully she'll be returning for our next show. So this is Sergio, Top Down, Cream Corn, Aloysius Sanchez signing off. along with producer Virgil signing off.
Yes, so please like and support my band at stillill.net. You can also find on Facebook and on Instagram. And please look up Jonathan Lowe at...
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay.
Yes.
You can find me on Facebook at Delicious Low Shizzle. Also, you can find my website, silentlyplottingmyescape.com.
The number one website in Canada.
Number one website in Canada. It got quite a few views from Canada this month for whatever odd reason. But yeah, silentlyplottingmyescape.com. There is a new article, probably going to start doing maybe 1 to 2 posts per month.
All right. So this is producer Virgil, and Vince will still get the check.
Yes. We'll mail it to him.